You know, I really want this game to do well, but it's just mediocre. Now, I do apologise throughout this video if I sound a bit of a cop-out, considering my opinions might sound similar to other reviewers, but that's probably because I agree with them. Now, I'm not in the few people that I've heard around the internet that have just been bashing Sonic, or, you know, for better or for worse or whatever, to gain views, publicity, or just to, you know, like I say, just basically just to bash on the fan base. I'd like to think that I'm a fair reviewer, playing Sonic since the first game in the mid to early 90s. So, you know, I'd like to think that I am not biased, but fair. I do not think that Sonic Forces is a bad game. I don't think it's great either. It's just, like, I would play it again because the game's so short. I'm not going to miss that much. And it's kind of the similar feeling I had with Sonic Lost World. I didn't think Sonic Lost World was great, but I didn't think it was super bad. It was just kind of in my opinion. The problem is, I don't think that you should buy this anyway. Not unless perhaps it gets some, you know, a price drop, or you are a fan of Sonic, a real fan of Sonic, and you really want to play it like myself. Of course, I'm always going to play it. Of course, I had to do a Reasons to Not Play, not Reasons to Play, as you can probably tell from the title, / maybe a review in the future. But for now, it's going to be a Reasons to Not Play. I'm afraid, like I said, this game isn't bad. It's just, well, I think there's just more bad than good, in my opinion. So, without further ado, guys, I'm going to give you 5 reasons you should not play Sonic Forces. And we're going to be starting right now.
The story of Sonic Forces tries to go for a darker tone, but then immediately falls flat. It's like they got cold feet at the last minute. Let's try a darker setting. Wait, didn't we try that in 2006? Shit! Pull out! Pull out! Pull out! Ah, fuck. The new villain Infinite brings back old villains from the past using the Phantom Ruby. You know, the same one from Mania, where Sonic came from another dimension. This story is fucking stupid. And combine their efforts to kill Sonic. Eggman takes over while only leaving the resistance made up of the Sonic characters we all know. Well, except Blaze. She's fucking dead, guys. Wait, why are you here, Silver? You don't play as any of them. They are just there talking to you over comms or in cutscenes. And honestly, I think their dialogue for the most part isn't anything interesting and puts me to sleep. Tails has apparently lost it, but looks no worse for wear. Classic Sonic shows up because Tails is a whiny little bitch and still can't do anything with him. Seriously, does anyone remember Sonic Adventure 2? Anyone remember? Heck, even Sonic Adventure 1 was all about Tails overcoming his fears and being more independent without relying on Sonic as much. Oh, who am I kidding? They don't give a shit about the past unless you're reusing levels over and over. Uh-oh, I'll get to that. Oh, and by the way, clearly not dead, but apparently he has been tortured all this time. Yeah, alright, if it's been tortured all this time, what did it involve? Forcing him to play Sonic 06? Like, this game is forcing me to have a fucking headache! Infinite at first comes off as clearly not Mephiles, but with his ability to use the Phantom Ruby, he seemed like an actual threat. Until you do the Shadow DLC, where you get the backstory Infinite, and find out he's fucking Mephiles, alright? Shadow beats him, insults him, and then he dedicates himself to getting back at him. He's Mephiles, but more whiny.
I am not weak!
Alright, calm down, you fucking man-child. Seriously, he loses all menace thanks to the Shadow DLC, and when you finally beat him...
No, wait, I can still fight.
Oh, and by the way, there's no true final boss encounter with him. That's the last scene of him. Speaking of Shadow, what was he doing the 6 months Sonic was kidnapped? In the DLC, Infinite uses the Phantom Ruby to send Shadow to another reality to mess with him, but then after he comes out, he's talking to Rouge before the whole Sonic getting his butt kicked, and she tells him to go over there and nothing. Shows up later when his fake encounter pops up thanks to the Phantom Ruby, and no explanation of where he's been.
So here's a scenario that I actually thought of that could work, possibly, for like Shadow being away for 6 months. After the events of Infinite causing Shadow to go on to that whole virtual reality Green Hills thing, Shadow itself knows that Infinite is too powerful as he is, and the only way he can see them possibly stopping him is if the Chaos Emeralds are involved. That gives an excuse for the Chaos Emeralds to be here, because there are no emeralds, by the way. And apparently we're going to get DLC for Super Sonic. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means if it's just going to literally be Super Sonic just to be unlocked, which means, okay, we just have the Chaos Emeralds, or are we going to have like a random new DLC story or something? I don't know what that would entail, collecting the Chaos Emeralds, but how I thought this could play out is that Shadow goes on his own specific missions, searching for the Chaos Emeralds, trying to find where they are. From Mania, we saw that the Chaos Emeralds were surrounded around the Phantom Ruby, and it looked like they scattered. And I mean, normally I guess they are scattered anyway, because Sonic always have to collect them again. But like, it was kind of implied maybe that the Phantom Ruby just like had a funny reaction with them and sent them away. Well, maybe, like I said, Shadow has to go and search for the Chaos Emeralds. And what could possibly happen is that because of the Phantom Ruby affected the Chaos Emeralds, each time he's going through like a virtual reality type level, and you get a Chaos Emerald at the end for beating the level, or you have to fight some sort of boss representing one of the Chaos Emeralds or something. Anything, could have been something like that. But the point is, he goes on unique levels searching for the Chaos Emeralds, and then he eventually meets back with the team and basically says, I may find another solution if we can't, quote unquote, stop him. You know, he brings the Chaos Emeralds over, and then perhaps as the final conflict, we could have some sort of a supersonic boss, I don't know. Something like that, you know, some sort of supersonic thing or whatnot, I don't know. Sounds better than what they did with Shadow, which was absolutely nothing. Yeah, sure, okay, we've had supersonic plots before, but, I mean, again, it's better than nothing, right? Let me know what you think below. If you've got any, like, ideas for what Shadow was doing, you can make it ridiculous and funny as you like, or you can make it just legit, like give him an actual reason, like he's going off doing something this, or finding out information, or whatever, you know. Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your little stories as to what Shadow's been up to.
Classic Sonic. Oh boy, he was clearly shoehorned in at the last second because money! He has nothing to add in this game, which is a shame. He comes in from Mania, as Tails calls it, for Sonic, as the fake Chaos is trying to attack him.
Right, that makes sense, I think. We're traveling through time and space!
Even classic Sonic just nods his head. You don't know why the fuck you're here either, do you? He adds nothing to the story apart from implying that the Phantom Ruby has now made Mania a virtual reality that didn't exist. I'm sad. Fuck this game. Did he really need to be here? We had Generations, and that was fine enough.
Cheer up, Tails. I'm sure we'll run into him again.
I fucking hope not. Unless it's Mania 2, of course. Go play Sonic Mania. The old villains might as well have not turned up. Zavik is the only one that talks. Chaos shows up and then... Sonic Adventure 2's better, Chaos. Shadow kicks Shadow's ass, and that's that, and Metal Sonic...
Why would they bother making a fake out of something that already isn't real? Couldn't they just build more?
You know my thoughts exactly. Before I forget, can you guess which version I'm playing? I bet you can't. The gameplay is split up between your custom avatar, Classic Sonic, and Modern Sonic. Classic is all 2D, while Modern and the Avatar are a mixture of 2D and 3D. Modern Sonic brings back the boost formula, except now the levels are more linear. Seriously, if there ever was an actual boost to win Sonic, it's this game. The avatar has a weapon called a Wispon, basically a wisp-like weapon enabling the avatar to use wisp powers. I'm not a huge fan of this power-ups, and I'm not a huge fan of having to constantly change weapons and replaying a level to use a certain wisp ability. Classic Sonic. More disappointing, unfortunately. Well, it's Generations but worse. What do I mean? I'll touch up on that in number 3. The levels are unoriginal for the most part, and short. Like, really short. Before you get to really experience them, it ends. It's almost like you're playing a demo. Oh. It's like if you're eating some food and you're really enjoying it, halfway through someone takes your plate away. So the reason why the levels are unoriginal because, once again, they are returning stages from previous games. If it wasn't already obvious, it's clearly a tradition to have some sort of Green Hill Zone. God, I am so sick of Green Hill Zone. They bring back Chemical Plant again as well. We just had this in Mania. Not to mention, we've had 3D Chemical Plant Zone in Generations. It doesn't matter what you do to the level design, it's still Green Hill Zone and it's still Chemical Plant Zone. Where's the originality? Even Death Egg, though we haven't played an actual Death Egg level since Sonic 3 and Knuckles, classic Sonic's 1-to-1 is Sonic 3 and Knuckles' Death Egg. Okay guys, try telling me this isn't Generations 2. Alright, let's get classic Sonic's controls out of the way, shall we? He controls nothing like his Generations counterpart. Let me guess, because he's from another dimension? Fuck off. His 2D sections are just not fun to play. Unless he is rolling or touching a boost pad, he can't gain momentum. Look at this. Why is he running so slow down this ramp? Why is it that if you roll and gain crazy amounts of speed that he just magnetizes to the wall or even glitches through the wall? Though I only really had this once in Chemical Plant Zone. His jumping is all fucked. It's like someone put a weight on his shoulder or got so fat from eating chili dogs all the time. Seriously, when you implement level design that requires precise jumping, you need controls to match that. Sonic either doesn't get enough momentum to make jumps, or he gets too much. Either way, it results in a few deaths. You had it right with Generations, so what the fuck happened here? If you're gonna give him no plot relevance whatsoever, you can at least give him some good controls, and make his gameplay enjoyable. I'm sorry guys, classic Sonic is the worst thing in this game, and I really wish he wasn't in it. The Avatar and modern Sonic have the same aerial movement problem. It's not a huge deal in 3D, only specifically in 2D. The worst for the Avatar is probably his version of Green Hill, which is entirely 2D. Even though we had classic Sonic in 2D Green Hill already. The one thing I don't like about modern Sonic's controls, he has no drifting in this game. Granted, there isn't many examples he needs to drift, and yet the Avatar drifts automatically for some reason. It feels odd that they would take away part of modern Sonic's gameplay. To me, it was satisfying in Unleashed and Generations to boost through a level trying to maintain the speed by jumping and drifting in places, but you can't do that here. It's most noticeable in Metropolis, and you can die because of it. If you do the section correctly, it just auto-corrects Sonic to the path. Why take part of the control away from the player? The Avatar and Sonic have team-up levels where you can switch between boosting and homing attack to using the Wispon. In certain sections, you have the double boost ability, which you mash the button in time to do a team-up boost. This is pointless. You want to know why? Even if you fail the prompt, you still do it anyway. And the control, well, you don't need to control anything. Seriously, it runs itself. Go put down your controller, make yourself a cup of tea, and come back. Because by the time you come back, it will be done. The bosses in this game are either non-existent, boring, or the same bloody boss fight. You never fight Chaos, you never fight Shadow, you fight Metal Sonic with no challenge whatsoever. And you know the funny thing? Zavok might be the most unique boss fight of them all, and it's not even good! Oh, and the final encounter with Infinite is just the Metal Sonic boss fight. Again. The Infinite bosses can be interesting with the Phantom Ruby causing a virtual reality, but most of the time you can just avoid his attacks, and without it, the fights just become easy and boring, which is a shame. Classic Sonic gets 2 boss fights only, which one of them starting off as a wrecking ball, wrecking saw, so much better, and then the Egg Dragoon, again! Come on, Sega, what does this game keep repeating things over and over again? The final phase of the final boss fight is literally the Colors boss fight. I give up. I don't know what they are thinking, and clearly if they don't care, neither should I. The music is not terrible, but not great. Just like this game, it's just meh. Though classic Sonic's music is just borderline awful. Just listen to Green Hill Zone.
We've got to find Eggman quick. Let's see. The reading I picked up was through this way. This area is still...
Okay, now let's replace this with ducks, and it would sound better. I'm sorry, I don't like fist bump. Come at me, comments section. The Avatar stages have vocals in their tracks. Don't get me wrong, we've had vocals before. I mean, remember Sonic R?
Can you see the sun is shining on me?
The problem is, this feels out of place personally in this game. You know how some people like Sonic and others think this franchise is a load of dog shit? There is one thing most people agree on, and it's the music being the most consistent good thing in these games. Well, that's just not the case here. I'm sorry. Sonic Forces had potential to be a good 3D Sonic game with its custom avatar creation, bringing back fast-paced boost gameplay, an actual villain that seemed threatening at the time, and an interesting attempt on a darker toned series. It just wound up being, well, a mess. A big, sloppy mess on the end of your shoe. Still, it's not the worst Sonic game, but would I recommend it though? No, I'm sorry.
And there you have it, guys. I mean, those are my reasons. Honestly, I could probably fit some more on, but I feel like I wouldn't be able to talk too much about them, so I figured I would only, do the ones I feel like I can really get my opinions across to. It's not like I wanted this game to be mediocre or some people consider bad, not 06 bad, not Secret Rings bad, not Shadow the Hedgehog bad. But kind of like that last one. It exists, and I think that's all it is. It feels like Sega wanted to try something with this darker story and got scared. And yeah, it was too late, and pretty much now we've got this game. And I mean, the Avatar, I didn't really talk too much about him because I actually somewhat enjoyed the Avatar. Like, I actually enjoyed the custom making stuff, but that's for reasons to play. Again, like I always do, if you want to know my positive opinions, or at least for me to try and find positive opinions about a game like Sonic Forces, then make sure to like the hashtag NotConvinced in the comment section below, and if it gets high enough likes, then maybe Sonic Man will come up with some likes, because I'm sure he will probably be able to find more likes. Again, this isn't 06 bad, and I hadn't even covered 06. I'm sure I'll probably do it at some point. I just want a good 3D Sonic game, and this wasn't bad, it was just kind of that's the best way to sum up this video. Sonic Forces is and I don't know what they have plans for the next game. If you want to try the modern gameplay, keep it modern. Don't have classic Sonic in there, don't have anyone else in there, or I don't know, bring back Tails and Knuckles as playable characters, or somehow implement the Sonic cast. If you're going to bring them in, make them playable somehow. I know a lot of people don't like Sonic Heroes, but I actually like the idea of Sonic Heroes. Team concept was interesting to me. Maybe it could have been implemented a bit better, but it was still interesting. I enjoyed that. And if I'm not playing, I don't know, all 4 stories, I can actually somewhat find enjoyment out of that game, despite it having its problems. You know, there are things that work, things that didn't work, and it kind of just feels like there's a lot of things going on in Forces, and it kind of partly work but partly don't. I don't know. But that's it, guys. Those are my reasons. If you did enjoy the video, then give it a like, and I guess if you didn't, like I said, make sure to like #NotConvinced. Again, this isn't a bad game. I just don't think it's really worth your time unless you are a big Sonic fan like myself, or get this on a discount, because I just don't think it's worth your time. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Take care, my fellow gamers. I'll see you next time.